And we are back for our math page, our regular just page. So we did the review beforehand. Hopefully you looked at the concept card review page and also, sorry, I'm gonna tilt it. And also the review, because that's going to help you with your page. So please don't, if there's like a couple videos like that, please don't skip the review one, just because that is just going back over some of those things that we're still having problems with. So that's why I take the time to do those. So please look at them, so that way I don't have to keep grading the same problems, and we're getting through like the measurement problems and the multiplication or solving for X and all of that kind of thing. The reason I do, it's just, that's how the curriculum works anyway, but then I do those so we can just keep getting them down and keep getting them down so we don't have to keep missing those. So please look back. If you haven't gone back, do the review one first so that you can review all of that with us before you move on to this one. Okay. It's easier. It's just going to help you as you go through the page. So that's why we do all of those review ones. And sometimes I just want to make sure to take enough time with them. That's why I do them separately, because if I rush through them, then you're still not going to get the concept. So I want to make sure you've got that solidified in your brains. Okay. So please help me out by going back through and watching those as well. All right. So today, because today is an easier concept, so I'm not that worried about it, except for making sure that we do it correctly, because there is a margin for error, just a little bit for it. Now we know that when we are doing anything in math, we check. Okay, so if I have 6 times 3 equals 18, what is a way that I check it? Do you remember? Right, I do the, yes, you guys are so smart. I do what? The twin, right? I would just change it. I do the twin. 3 times 6 equals 18. Oh, yeah, that's easy. Or if 12 times 4 equals 48, what do I figure out? 12 times 4 times whatever the opposite is. I don't remember which one I said. Anyway, the opposite of whatever I said before, okay? If I said 12 times 4, then it's 4 times 12, okay? We just do the twin, remember? So in multiplication, we can change the order of the products, but the factor always stays the same. It doesn't matter if I change them, just like addition. Yes, I can change the order of the addends, and it does not change my sum. Because this is true, we can check multiplication problems by changing the order of the factors and then multiplying them again. Now, to check the problem, we change the order of the factors and multiply again. If we multiply correctly, the products should still be the same. Now, all the work in between will not necessarily be the same. So don't try to, that's where the margin for error comes in, where I have kids that want to make it equal the same, make the whole thing look the same, but it's not going to. And I'll show you that as we get right to it. So just watch carefully so that you'll understand what I'm talking about, okay? So we're going to do our multiplication that we've been working on. 2 digits on the top times 2 digits on the bottom, which is super simple. And you guys have been killing it. Oh, whoa, where did I go? Whoa, follow me, camera, focus. That means some of you must not be focused. So it's time for everybody to focus. Okay, there we go. That's better. So you guys have been killing that just like I know you would. And I'm so excited because that's just a great thing. So when we are looking at 25 times 41, we're not looking at 25 times 41. The first thing we're looking at is, yeah, just 25 times 1. That's it. So do going down first, because ones place in ones place, 5. And tens place with the ones place, 2. And you, like I said, you could write it over to the side. Obviously, that's going to be really easy. 25 times 1 is always going to equal 25. It's going to equal that other number, okay? So that's the first thing. We do the ones place. Everything on the top times my ones place. Ones place with the tens place. Then, some of you, you've gotten better. Don't forget the 0. forget the 0 underneath. And now I'm multiplying everything on the top times my tens place. Everything on the top times my 4. 5 times 4, 20. So my 0 comes down. My 2 goes on top with a plus sign. And then I multiply my tens place times my tens place. 2 times 4, 8 plus 2, 10. So then I put my 0 and my 1 with a plus sign. And again, if I wrote that over here, 25 times 4, it equals 100. And then I just add that 0 in there because I was in the tens place. Yeah, it's going to equal 1,000, just like it does here. So look at those carefully. Then add going down. 5 plus 0, 2 plus 0, 0 plus 0, and 0 plus 1. 1,025. Now, this looks good, and maybe it's correct, but how do I know? Well, we're going to check. And remember, all that we do when we check is write the twin. So instead of the 41 being on the bottom, the 41 is now on the top. Instead of the 25 being on the top, the 25 is now on the bottom. We just switched. That's all we did. We just took these two numbers and went shoo. See that? So all it is, checking multiplication the same way that we would normally check by switching the products, the factors around. 41, 41, 25, 25, okay? Just switch the factors. Ah! So now it's 41 times 5, not 25 times 1. 41 times 5. So 1 times 5 is 5. And then 4 times 5 is 20. And there's nowhere to carry it over, so we just write the number 20. Okay? So then you're going to look and you're going to go, oh, no, it has to be 25. No, no, no. That's where the error comes in. They're not going to look alike because they're not written the same. We're going to get the same product, not the same partial products. Okay? Does that make sense? So the partial products are going to be different, but the final product should be the same. So don't worry about this not looking like this. Those are not what are supposed to match. Only at the bottom should they match. Okay? So 41 times 5, and again, write it over to the side. 41 times 5. What does it equal? 205. You can, double check yourself, triple check yourself. That's it. So now I cover over my ones place, and now I'm multiplying 41 times. Oh, I hear you, Amaya. Okay, I got you. I know. I have to put a 0. I'm sorry. I put the 0 underneath. Then I look at 41 times 2. I was going to, though, 41 times 2, and make sure to start with my ones place first. 1 times 2 is 2. And then 4 times 2 is 8. Very good. So 820. And again, what is 41 times 2? 2, 8. And then if we said it's a 10, we put a 0 after it. It's the same answer. Okay? But it's different. This is doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. All that matters is when I add these together, 5 plus 0, 0 plus 2, 8 plus 2. Oh, yes, that's the only thing that matters if my final product is the same, okay? My partial products aren't going to be the same. They can't be the same because my numbers that I'm multiplying are different. I'm not multiplying 25 times 1, I'm multiplying 41 times 5. I'm not multiplying 25 times 4, I'm multiplying 41 times 2. And if you recognize that, 41 times 5, then 41 times 2. 25 times 1, then 25 times 4. Okay? How simple, right? That's all it is. So when you're on your page today and that's what you're doing, it's going to make sense because all they did on your page was switch the factors around. 36 times 32, now it's 32 times 36. That's it. But you just multiply just like we've been learning how to multiply. Everything on the top times my ones place. So 36, 3 and 6 have to be multiplied by my 2. 6 times 2, 12. My 2 comes down. Remember, if I'm writing 12 correctly, my 1 comes up with a plus sign. Don't forget to put the plus sign. Then I multiply 3 times 2. 6, good, plus 1, 7, excellent. And now I can think, okay, well, 36 times 2, oh yeah, if I had 36 times 2 written over to the side, it would equal 72. Then, yes, thank you, 0. Yes, put the 0 down. And once I do that, then I also want to cross off my carryover, because just in case I have to carry over again, I don't want to keep using this one and get it interfered with my, or have it interfere with my new carryover number. Okay, so that 0 is almost, you know, reminding me that I have to cover over that 2. There's nothing that I'm doing on that side anymore. Now it's going to be everything times my tens place. 6 times 3 is 18. Bring my 8 down and then put my plus 1 over the 1 that I crossed out. Isn't it good that I crossed out? Because I might have thought to add both of those ones. No, I just need to add the top one. So now it's 3 times 3. Good, plus 1, yes, 10. And I simply add my partial products. 2 plus 0, 7 plus 8, carry over my 1, 1 plus 0, and 0 plus 1. Right, so 1,152. Well, the only way that we're going to check to see if that's correct is by switching our factors. So now, instead of 36 times 32, we're doing 32 times 36. And instead of 36 times 2, now it's 32 times 6. So 2 times 6, oh, it's 12. That's fine. Carry over the 1 with a plus sign. And then you're multiplying 3 times 6. 18 plus 1, 19. Bring down both my 1 and my 9. Oh, but it doesn't look like this. It's supposed to be 7. Nope, it's not supposed to be 72. It's supposed to be whatever 32 times 6 is. And 32 times 6 equals 192. Okay, that's all. So don't worry about the partial products looking the same. The only thing that's going to look the same in these is our product, our final product. Okay, so 32 times 6 is 192. Put my 0 underneath the 2. First thing, don't forget that. Some of you did really, really well, and then the last problem on the page, you forgot to put your 0. Don't forget. Now I'm covering over that 6. That kind of reminds me, cover over that 6 and cross out. Oops, I almost forgot that too. Yes, thank you. Cross out my carryover because I'm not going to use it this time unless I need to. Unless I carry over another one. But I need to cross that out so I don't just carry over for no reason. So now it's everything on the top times my tens place. 2 times 3 is 6. See, I didn't need to carry it over, so that's why I cross it out. Now 3 times 3 is 9. Good. And then I put my plus. Oh, they're not equal. That doesn't matter. Let's see if they equal each other down here. That's all that matters. 2 plus 0, 2. 9 plus 6, 15. Carry over the 1. 9 plus 1 plus 1, 11. And they do. That's the beauty of it. So if the bottom factors match, that's all that I need to worry about. These products, not factors. The bottom products match. That's all I need to worry about. So don't worry about the partial products equaling each other. That's not important. The final products have to equal. So look on your page really quickly. Ooh, yeah, because this is going a little bit. And check multiplication. Look at the box. To check multiplication, change the order of the factors and multiply. The products will be the same if you have multiplied correctly. Remember, changing the order of the factors does not change the product. So write the products and then check your work. You have to write the opposite. So next to 73 times 42, what are you going to write? 42 times 73, and you're going to check it by multiplying again. What are you going to write next to 67 times 35? 35 times 67, and then you're going to work that problem. So you're doing the problem that's there, and then you're checking it by writing the opposite. The partial products don't matter. The final product should be the same. and you'll know if you did it correctly. Then section 2 is story problems. Mrs. Turner bought 8 quarts of vanilla ice cream and 3 gallons of chocolate ice cream for a party. How much did she pay if a gallon cost $3.75? So we can't just say 8 plus 3 equals 11 and then we're going to figure out what, 375 times 11. No, because we don't have all gallons yet. She bought 8 quarts and 3 gallons. So 8 quarts plus 3 gallons equals blank gallons. That's why I did the review in the beginning video so that you could have that to review. That's why I say please watch that first before you do this. Then when you find the answer to how many gallons there are, if it's 8 quarts plus 3 gallons, how many gallons is that? Then you multiply that by $3.75 to get your answer. Okay. Then Jaden, Braden, and Caden are buying a gift for their grandmother. The gift costs $38.67. If they share the cost equally, how much will each boy spend? Now, some of you are just going to automatically go, okay, 38 times 3, 38.67 times 3. If you do 38.67 times 3, that means they're going to be spending $100 a person. That doesn't make sense. It only is going to cost $38.67. So they're not going to each chip in $100 to equal 36 to 38. So what do we know? 38 is our total, so we have to break it down. So if they share the cost equally, when we say share equally, what does that mean that we do? It means we divide, right? So divide 38.67 with the 3 boys. And then you'll figure out each of them is going to pay this much in order to equal that. Then section 3, you're reviewing, you're dividing by 12. Section 4, find the average. One thing that you're not doing that I'm going to have to start taking off for, or I have been taking off for, circle the answer because it tells you in the directions. If we don't follow the directions, Miss Monroe takes off points. Why? Because directions are going to help you all through school, all through life. So follow the directions carefully. Circle the answer and make sure you add carefully. We're still not quite getting averages because we're not adding carefully. Okay. Then reduce to lowest terms. You know how to do that. Solve the measurement equation. That's why we went over them. Write the Arabic number. We went over those as well in the review video before this. So if you didn't watch it, go back and watch it. Then look at section 8. I want to just go through this really quickly. Find the fractional part. So you're finding 1/3 and you're looking and you're like, well, but they're not equally in thirds. Okay. Right. So you count how many there are. Okay. Count the number of squares, or not squares, the number of triangles, the number of hexagons, the number of circles. Then take that number and think of what 1/3 or 2/3 or 3/4 of that would be. Okay. So this is what I'm saying. So we look at it, 1/3 of the number of triangles. So 1/3 of, and count how many triangles, you'll count and find out that there are 9 triangles. 1/3 of 9 would be what? And that's what you're doing. You circle that amount. And so think of that carefully, because if you were to cut that even though they're not even like places where you could cut it into 3 groups, think that through carefully. Now, letter B is cut into 3 groups. There's 3 groups going across if you look carefully. So 2/3. If there's 3 groups going down, then take 2 of those thirds and put those together. And then that one group is left by itself. Circle all of those. How many is that going to be that you're going to circle? Then for the 3/4, you're going to look at how many you have. If you were to divide like that into fourths, into, how many circles do I have? What would 1/4 of that be? And then think, okay, 2/4 what it would be, and 3/4 what it would be. All right. We'll go over it tomorrow, I promise, because that one's a little bit tougher, but I know you can do it if you're thinking it through. So I'll give bonus points on the next quiz for those who can get it without me having to tell you, because that means you're really thinking carefully. Okay. So brain booster. add all of that up, and it's going to equal something. And we know when we said with our brain booster, oh, time's going. When we have our brain booster, when we have our fractions, if the top number and the bottom number are the same, like if I have 2 halves, what is 2 halves going to equal? Right, it's going to equal the whole thing. So that's what you're figuring out. So when it says blank, blank, or, you have to write the fraction, or then you write what whole number also that would be, which you already just figured out because I basically gave you the answer. So then your homework section, write the 6 division table on a separate sheet of paper, write the correct sign in the blank. So put add, subtract, multiply, divide for each of those, but look at it carefully because you can't just choose whichever one you want. There's only a certain one that would go in a certain place. So look carefully, and then section 3, follow the signs. All right, do well on this page. I'm going to go quickly because this is getting very long. So bye, see you later. Have a good day.